fascinating to witness somebody's meteoric rise. What is more fascinating though is that journey to success, with its bends and falls. And most important are those success mantras that ensure triumph on that journey. Well, on this show, we celebrate such successful stories. Welcome to Trailblazers. Our guest today on Trailblazers is young, dynamic and a successful entrepreneur on his own terms. He loves to make money and help others do the same. It all started with an inquisitive mind as a child. He would ask questions and challenge thoughts. He clearly was someone who grew up with an analytical mind, a quality that would help him realize his dreams. Let's meet Rohit Gadia. Rohit Gadia epitomizes the dreamy young Indian. A humble start in a small town but lofty ambitions and a never-say-die spirit. What was striking was his burning desire to carve out a niche for himself. Let's hear it from Rohit about his experiments with life.
As a child, I was very inquisitive by nature. I used to ask a lot of questions. I had a lot of anxiety. Why is that in a green light you have to go? Why isn't that in a red light you need to stop? I used to play around with the electronics. I used to open TV, spoil it, and in fact, my neighbors used to be scared of me. So that's how I realized that people used to call me very notorious. I had a lot of anxiety to know. I used to ask a lot of questions. Why is this that train is moving? Why is that train runs only on the tracks? Why is the train can't come on the roads? So I had a lot of such questions, but which I feel it used to be trouble at that point of time, but I lot. I mean, small things we never know, but those learnings have helped me even today. So learnings never go waste, which I could realize it now. Of course, I had no sense at that point of time, and I think it's always good if during childhood if someone is very inquisitive and somebody asks a lot of questions, we should always encourage those things as a childhood, as a parents also.
Rohit has never been a child. He was something beyond it. He was so curious. He was so energetic. In childhood, when he used to come to us, we were really amazed to see what he's doing, what he's talking, what he behaves. And then definitely at that point of time, we didn't see that, okay, what would be Rohit 20 years from now. And when we found him, we moved to Bangalore for education. Then he started talking something serious about business, about money, about life, and so on. Before that, he was too young in talks as well, in behavior. And one important thing, that when he wants to know something about you, about business, about world, then he will sit with you and he is not going to leave you maybe 3 o'clock in the night or whatever. Once when he was in Singapore, studying in Singapore, I happened to be there. He sat with me and we were talking, sleeping on the bed in fact, till 4 o'clock in the morning, and then he was talking about his plan and wanted me to correct what he's doing is right, wrong, where he will land, and so on. And definitely we were, some of the ideas what he was having, he was delivering, was quite innovative for us. But always we wanted to encourage him and of course with a warning signal that okay, you should do to the extent you can afford to do. Maybe, based as per your age, as per your requirement, and as per where you are. But we could see something more than a human being into Rohit, even at that point of time.
I always had it in my mind that I want to do my graduation from a good city, good college, as Burhanpur never had a good education in terms of graduation. So post my schooling I went to Bangalore. I wanted to go to Mumbai, but I didn't get an admission in the college I wanted to get in Mumbai. But I was lucky to get into Sri Bhagwan Mahavir Jain College, where I went and got admission into BCom. But once I went Bangalore, I realized, I was always I was a frog in the well. And when I reached Bangalore, it was like a cultural shock for me. I mean, you can just imagine a person who's coming from Burhanpur, which is kind of village, going to a Bangalore, which is a metropolitan city, culturally rich and pretty westernized city. So it was kind of a cultural shock, and somehow I managed to get into those kind of, somehow I managed to come out of those cultural shocks, and initial days were really tough. I even didn't know the difference between THERE and THEIR, and the kind of fun people used to make of me was always encouraging to me. I was like an underdog, but it always encouraged me that no, Rohit, that yes, you want to really do good, you want to go big. So when they used to make fun of me, it used to always give me a kick. It used to always give me a more push that you have to learn a lot, you have to go further. So I always took it very positive, that if somebody is highlighting your weakness, so you should be correcting it. Somebody is highlighting that this is what you don't know, so you should. I always had a zest to learn those things. And once I started my graduation in Bangalore from Bhagwan Mahavir Jain College, and it was my second year of BCom, I realized that I don't want to take further any money from my father. And somehow it came up in my mind. I don't know what was it, but you may call it a ego, you may call it a self-esteem or whatsoever, but I stopped taking any money since then. And I started doing a lot of part-time jobs, even selling SIM cards on the roadside under umbrella, to typing job when I used to do typing, and I used to get paid 30 rupees or 40 rupees an hour at that point of time. And I even used to do a lot of, as a volunteer, you go in any events. Now there's a lot of events keep happening. These events institutes, these event management companies call students from the colleges who stands as a volunteer, and they get paid for 200 rupees or 250 rupees for 5 years or 6 years. Such kind of things I used to do a lot, and that's where I started getting my initial money. I used to cut down my cost by walking to the college, and not taking up an auto. I used to save 20 rupees in a day just by doing that. In fact, just by saving this, I bought one of the book called The Buffett's Way. That was my first book, which is that I bought, and I really saved a lot of money to buy that book. So I have a huge value for that book. Now I value any book which I buy.
While Rohit Gadia was trying out different success formulas, advising his friends and acquaintances on their investments came naturally to him, which would eventually turn into his big idea, a financial research and consulting firm, CapitalVia Global Research Limited.
During my college days, in my hostel, we used to get newspapers. In those newspapers, they used to write, company names and the numbers in small font size. I always used to wonder what exactly is this, what are they writing. So it used to excite me, ki kya ho raha hai? So what I did was got inside it, and slowly I started learning about the stock markets. And as I already started earning money, I thought, why don't I start trading on my own? And of course, to trade you need an initial capital, and I had no initial capital. So what I did during those days was, I'll share an incident with you wherein I started getting my initial capital out of a credit card. So what used to happen, my friends used to go for shopping, and what I used to do was I used to go with them, and they used to do shopping, and I used to swipe my credit card. I managed to get a credit card during those days. Generally students don't get credit card, and when I got the credit card, so they used to pay me in cash, and I used to deposit that amount in the demat and trading account, and that's how I started trading. So while I was trading, I actually didn't know how to trade, and but slowly, steadily, When I started trading, I got to know what exactly is the stock market, what are the commodity markets, and I started learning on its own. But the sooner and sooner, the more and more I got to know about it, it has created a lot of interest in me. So it has become a kind of hobby for me during those days, and then this hobby turned into a passion. I started giving a lot of recommendations to the people, a lot of trading ideas to the people, and people told that, Rohit, it's doing pretty well, your research is been doing good. Why don't you start charging us and make it a proper services? And that's when I realized there's a huge opportunity in the markets. But I certainly wanted to do my MBA. I was not very serious about business at that point of time, and I just finished my graduation, and then post-graduation I worked with Hewlett Packard for some time, but I could not go along good with my manager, and that's when I realized the importance of a manager in the corporate world. I worked with HP for some time, and I learned a lot with the company, the way they work, the processes they have, the kind of induction they do, the kind of management they do with the people. I had a tremendous learning with them, and post that I did my CAT. I got a reasonable respected percentile, and I got admission in SP Jain, and then I took my admission in SP Jain Dubai and Singapore, and I completed my MBA in investment banking finance in 2008. When I was studying, and I used to get a lot of demand from the people that you should give some kind of a trading ideas to us, because with the kind of quality research we used to do. So that's when the idea stuck in my mind, why don't we formalize it with the kind of demand market had. But I wanted to do my MBA, and post that I formalized it, and that's how the CapitalVia started in 2008.
CapitalVia is clearly a company of the future. With data and analysis becoming core to business decision-making process, just a flying start will not work. So what's Rohit Gadia really doing to gear up for the future? Let's go across and get his thoughts.
What is CapitalVia? What we do in CapitalVia? We help intraday traders in equity markets, commodity markets and currency markets by giving them trading ideas. Before we went into this business, we saw that a lot of day traders are trading very irrationally, without any kind of a logic, without any kind of a market intelligence. So we as a company do a lot of technical analysis. Our major of our research, our analysis is based on technical analysis. So we do this analysis, and then we give trading ideas to the day traders. And for these trading ideas, we charge them on a subscription basis, which could be yearly subscription, a quarterly subscription, or a half-yearly subscription. And based on our trading ideas, our customers, our clients across India trades on those kind of ideas. And these ideas, these recommendations are based majorly and mostly on a rational manner, a much more professional manner. And we help them do a professional trading rather than kind of a speculation and a casual way to trade. And this is what is our business model based at, wherein more than 55 people in research team is working to build such kind of trading ideas, and works day and night. So we track Indian markets, international markets, international commodity markets, including Singapore Stock Exchange, Dubai Gold Exchange.
Hello. May I speak to Ms. Deepika? Ma'am, very good morning. This is Priyanka. I'm calling from CapitalVia Global Research Limited.
In CapitalVia, we have chosen to do business based on certain ethics, certain values. And major of our company, our strength lies on people, process and technology. Wherein, if I talk about people, we have people from IMT, IIMs, IIPM, a lot of good B schools in India. 55% of them are actually girls in our organization. And in fact, 98% of the people are postgraduates in our organizations. We have people who are CAs, CFAs, MBAs all across. and we are a very young team, a young company, wherein if you actually ask me, our average age of the employee must be around 25 years old, you know. So you can say me probably I am a senior citizen of my company, but that's pretty young people, young energy we have within the organization, and I feel good that yes, you know, we as a company is generating so much employment, wherein we have given employment to almost 500 people at Indore, and especially if 55% of them are working girls, wherein, you know, they are delivering much more which you know, nowadays one can expect, and it's been pretty, they do good, and they are no less than anybody else.
I'll tell you one small example. When he was, when he was too young, it's maybe 10, 12 years old kid. He was so curious to know when we were sitting in the car, driving it out, then car used to stop at traffic signals. And then he was very crazy to know about why the car is stopped, why the signal is red, and why it will turn green. This shows something that he was not happy with the situation, normally what we accept as it is. Yes, it's a red signal, then the traffic must stop. He was not. He said, why it is red and why it is stopped? Why it couldn't be green and then stop? This is somehow his, basically the interior, what he is having to learn how the thing happens and why it cannot happen otherwise. He comes from a very small place, but he has, the genes of the Shekhawati, which is, I think everybody is knowing that what Shekhawatis are about. He has the courage, he has the zeal and entrepreneurship. That's the most important thing what he has got. He is not bothered about how much money he is carrying and then how much money he has planned to spend in or invest. So those things really shows that he has got some vision. Of course, everything he cannot explain to us and we cannot make out, we cannot read out his mind. But the vision what he carried was very clear that he has some target to reach. And of course, not the one what everybody has, not the clear one. He has got something different in mind. And looking at the way the business, the activity was what he has opted was quite unique. It is not something that, okay, he has been inherited some business of his family and then he's carrying it away. It's of his own creation. He has developed his mind that what he should do, and then accordingly he has proceeded. So this is, in fact, it's very difficult to define that what is all about and what would be his USP. He has thought something of himself, probably has not copied anything from anywhere. This is the uniqueness.
I have seen CapitalVia growing from a 3-people organization to 30, and Rohit Gadia has achieved this in a span of just 2 years. Today, as we speak, CapitalVia is 500 people organization. So 3 to 30 and 30 to 500 in a span of just 3 years is an amazing achievement. He is also driven by a vision whereby he wants to create about 50,000 employment opportunities in India.
On a parting note, I just want to say that, which I tell to all my people also, and I myself firmly believe upon, is if you can't fly, you should run. If you can't run, you should walk. If you can't walk, you should crawl. But whatsoever means, you should keep moving and keep moving ahead in your life and keep working harder.
A phenomenal success story. But for Rohit Gadia, the journey has just begun. You of course need to hold on to the success mantras of Rohit. We'll see you again next week, same time, same day, with yet another success story. Until then, take care.